Law schools are $798 per year, which just makes me feel so angry because I have like $450,000 in debt just to go to law school. And I'm explaining this extremely bonkers system that we have, and I'm like, this is a slave contract because I'll never be able to pay back these loans for my entire life. Or in my lifetime, I will never pay back my student loans without a loan forgiveness program, ever. That this is the system we are stuck in and trapped in, and I'm sick of it.
Hey guys, we need to talk about something. I've been in the Xiaohongshu app for a minute. That's how they want us to call it, not Red Note. It's Xiaohongshu. But anyway, the more I scroll through that app, the more I feel like I have been lied to by our government. And that's why they wanted to ban this app, because we were discovering and getting to the point where we were uncovering all their lies. I feel like we have been slaves to the government for so long, and I'm gonna show you why. You're gonna watch the next video, and I don't know if you're gonna be angry, but I'm angry. And you know how the government complains about homelessness, like in California? If they did what they're doing over there, they would have very little homeless. Anyway, just watch. Look at this.
Hello, TikTok refugees. This is my home in China. I want to show you this apartment.
It's a cute little apartment.
In China, we don't need to pay real estate tax like I own this apartment. I don't need to pay every year for the tax. Like after I pay off my mortgage, I just leave here. I don't need to pay every year the tax. So even though one day I don't work, I don't have income, I still able to live here till the day I die, basically. Okay, so that's why in China there's no homeless.
What are we doing here?
That is my sofa, my table, my bedroom, and sometimes I stay here, lie down on the ground to have some sun. And there is a river over there.
It's a cute apartment.
It's winter, someone skiing.
And he owns it.
You can see. Look.
Doesn't have to pay taxes.
Someone skiing.
So why are we paying taxes when we pay off our property?
I live here by myself, so that's enough. Maybe now you can have a sense that why in China there's no homeless, even though you have a horrible place, like for most people, like really poor, you need to pay tax, so you can still have a home, so you don't need to be a homeless, okay? So, but in the United States, the home, you have to pay tax for your own property.
Yeah, we do.
Every single year. It's way too crazy. For that, you guys need a revolution, I guess.
So I feel like the reason our government doesn't want us to see what China is doing and how they live is because they don't want us to hold the bar, like hold them to a higher standard. Because if you scroll through Xiaohongshu, you will see that these people are living well. Like they're not starving. Why are we paying so many taxes? Why are we homeless? Why can't we just own our home when we pay it off? Our land and our property. Why can't we have the same buildings and the same infrastructure? I just don't know why we're so behind. So like he said at the end, what is it gonna take for us to demand a better standard of living and stop being scammed by the Uncle Sam and the government? I feel scammed, honestly.
American citizens wouldn't even be talking to Chinese citizens if the U.S. government didn't try to ban TikTok because they claimed TikTok was going to push Chinese communist propaganda, right? And then a bunch of Americans went and joined an app specifically designed for Chinese citizens that was cleared by the Communist Party of China. And then suddenly we have cross-cultural exchange between American citizens and Chinese citizens. American citizens start to realize the Chinese people are people. That honestly, it feels good that some of y'all, I know you don't travel, but you're like, oh my God, look, they have groceries like us. That blew my mind. A lot of y'all were like, they have houses like that. it feels weird. I don't know what you thought they were doing in China. Feels weird. But the opposite side of that is the fact that the Chinese thought a lot of true things about us were actually communist propaganda from China. That is fucking, they thought their government was lying on us. Like, I've seen the comment sections where people would be like, yo, our government, the Chinese government said that y'all Americans have to pay for your own ambulances. Like, that's crazy. That's like a lie. They're like talking shit on capitalism, and legit Americans have to be like, no, for real, we have to pay for our own ambulances. Like, ambulances aren't free. And they're like, yo, what? Okay, but like that bullshit about your kids possibly needing like a bulletproof backpack, like that's crazy. And we're like,
TikTok has an increasingly stronghold on adults, but that doesn't mean that people who use TikTok only use TikTok. So who TikTok users, where else could they potentially go? TikTok users who also use, look, they're going to get their fix somewhere else, because take a look at this. 74% of TikTok users also use Instagram. You know, you can go on Instagram. I do have an Instagram account, Forecaster Enter, in case you're wondering. Or you can go over to YouTube. Think YouTube Shorts. 95% of TikTok users also use YouTube. So look, they'll get their fix somewhere else, but it will still be a massive disruption in their lives, especially younger folks.
Y'all are so funny. Oh my God. I download the app this morning. I make one quick video that I thought, no.
Major developments overnight in the future of TikTok. Remember, a ban is set to take effect Sunday as part of a bipartisan law passed by Congress, signed by President Biden. So the ban is Sunday, but the New York Times is reporting that TikTok CEO has been invited to Donald Trump's inauguration on Monday. Add to that, CNN has learned that President-elect Trump is looking into possible stopgap measures to keep TikTok from shutting down. All right, CNN's Claire Duffy is here. So much uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really the bottom line here is we're 3 days away from this ban, and we still don't know what's going to happen here, if it's really going away or not. We still don't know how the Supreme Court is going to rule. We're now hearing that Donald Trump is trying to take some action potentially to delay the ban going into effect, although, as you said, it's set to go into effect the day before the inauguration. And what that means really for users of this platform is they are feeling a lot of this uncertainty. If you are a creator who makes a livelihood on this app, or even a user who spends hours a day, as many people do, scrolling on this platform, those folks are already seeking out alternatives. And we're seeing some of those alternatives surge in popularity this week. The biggest one is a platform called Red Note, which is actually a Chinese app. It looks a lot like TikTok. And what's really interesting is we're seeing a lot of American TikTok users flocking to this app and Chinese users welcoming them, offering Mandarin lessons, offering them information about how to use the platform. I pulled up a good example of this to show you.
Dear TikTok refugees, welcome to Xiaohongshu. I know you probably don't understand Chinese, but there are 5 tips to help you make the most of this app. First, it's all about lifestyle. You can always find a better way to live and most comprehensive guide to everything.
It's kind of a hilarious cultural exchange that's happening, and many American users are there expressing frustration about the U.S. government and essentially saying, if you're going to take away our TikTok, we're going to go find another Chinese platform that we can use. So that's been a really interesting dynamic that we're seeing. Another app that's really gained popularity is Lemon8, which is owned by TikTok parent company ByteDance. The company started pushing it in the U.S. when talks of a ban really started bubbling up, and that's another platform that's really gaining. Those two platforms could still face the same sort of ban that TikTok is facing under this law. And experts told me that sort of gets at the challenge trying to avoid Chinese influence over popular social platforms.
Look, those would certainly be twists, that's for sure. Again, if the CEO of TikTok is really coming to the inauguration on Monday, it's hard to imagine Donald Trump doesn't want to find a way to save it or won't do something. Claire Duffy, thank you very much for that.
In just 3 days, the U.S. ban of TikTok is set to take effect, impacting 170 million users here in the United States. And sources tell CNN that the president-elect, Donald Trump, is now looking at, debating, considering, looking at the options to push that off, at least for a time, and keep the platform up and running while they look for and try to find a U.S. buyer. CNN's Harry Anton is running the numbers, not on the chances that Donald Trump will do it.
I have no idea.
But on just how big of a force TikTok really has become in this country. So how popular is TikTok?
Yeah, the idea that I can get into Donald Trump's head and know what he was doing on any particular moment, to me, is just something that is out of my wheelhouse.
Moving on.
Moving on. Age 13 to 17, basically teenagers. I don't know if you have any teenage members of your family, Kate Baldwin, but if you ever look at their phone, they seem to be addicted to it, and they're scrolling through. What are they scrolling through? They're scrolling through TikTok. I mean, my goodness gracious, 2/3 of teenagers use TikTok. It is more popular than Instagram, more popular than Snapchat. Facebook's for old fuddy-duddies like myself. Just 32% of teenagers use Facebook, and Twitter, X, which is my favorite platform, to be all honest, just 17%. And it's not just that they love TikTok. Teenagers are addicted to TikTok. TikTok's got a hold of them. 50% of teenagers use TikTok several times a day. So if TikTok went adios amigos, this would have a major impact on the daily lives of teenagers, at least in your life.
So this is 13 to 17-year-olds. How about everyone else?
Yeah, how about everyone else? So, you know, I myself have a TikTok account, but I don't really quite understand it. I guess I'm becoming an old fuddy-duddy. Adults who use TikTok, but even here, it's been a massive rise. So you go back to 2019, you can see it was just 3%. Now look at this. It's up to 32%. That's up nearly 30 points in just a 5-year span. Yes, Facebook is a little bit more, yes, Facebook is number one, Instagram being number two, but it's really the rise of TikTok. It's really younger folks. Again, those under the age of 30 who use TikTok. There was a reason why Trump went and campaigned with those influencers. It's because to get younger voters, to get younger folks on social media. You don't go to Facebook, you go to TikTok, and the bottom line is TikTok has become a massive force in this country, and only one that has become considerably more popular as time has gone on.
Okay, so if it is so popular,
yes,
and it goes away,
yes,
where do people go?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, as I said, TikTok has a massive hold on teenagers. TikTok has an increasingly strong hold on adults, but that doesn't mean that people who use TikTok only use TikTok. So who TikTok users, where else could they potentially go? TikTok users who also use, look, they're going to get their fix somewhere else, because take a look at this. 74% of TikTok users also use Instagram. You know, you can go on Instagram. I do have an Instagram account, Forecaster Enter, in case you're wondering. Or you can go over to YouTube. Think YouTube Shorts. 95% of TikTok users also use YouTube. So look, they'll get their fix somewhere else, but it will still be a massive disruption in their lives, especially younger folks.